Hey comic fans, Dave here at Ground Zero. It's Wednesday morning. That means it's time to take a quick look at what's new on the shelves at your favorite local comic book store. But now, before I dive into all that is new, hot, fresh, and exciting on the shelves, from time to time I like to take a look at the mailbag, see what has been sent in to us by one of our practically dozens of viewers, answer questions, what have you. This week I got the following note. It reads, Dave, why are you always ragging on Batman? Everyone knows Batman is the bomb, as these young kids say. Why are you such a hater? And in fact, he even doesn't spell out "are you," so cool with the internet lingo. It's signed simply Bruce, no last name, and goes on to read, P.S. I am totally not a millionaire playboy living with a manservant in a crime-ridden northern city. I am a yeehaw Texan just like you. Well, Bruce, I have never been called a yeehaw Texan before, so thank you, I guess. But either way, thanks for writing. It's true, I do rag on Batman a little much. That is just because he is so incredibly popular. That makes him a very broad and easy target. Truth of the matter is, once upon a time, I was a huge Batman fan myself. Ronald Reagan was president, I had just gotten my first Walkman, and I totally loved me some Batman. So I get it. I see why people would want to cling to that. Honestly, we don't judge here at Ground Zero. You do you, comic fans. I think it's great that an all-new generation has discovered and continues to absolutely adore this popular character. And DC apparently is willing to, supply and take care of that need. This week, new on the shelves, we'll start actually with DC, the 109th issue of Batman ships this week. And it's something of an experimental issue in that there is no cameo or first appearance of an all-new character. I don't know why they decided to take such a risk. Either way, we'll see how it sells. Hopefully it's returnable in case it doesn't. But either way, especially if you like to actually read your Batman comics, it is new this week. Moving on from that, we have a new issue of Batman Catwoman. Now, this is by Tom King. I'm a Tom King fan. I love the vast bulk of what he does. His Mr. Miracle was great. Obviously, I'm absolutely loving Rorschach. So if you got to read a Batman book, picking one by Tom King, you could do a lot worse. More, yes, there is more from DC this week. We get Batman The Adventure Continues Season 2, obviously a sequel to Season 1, so if you like your Batman with spiky ears and that really cool animated voice, it's here in comic book form. Also new from DC this week, Batman Second Son, in case you like your Batman a little bit more next generational. This actually has proven to be really an even better story than the Future State Batman that came out a little while back. So actually it's been quite good. So if you want to give it a try, there you go. Also new this week, the newest issue of Batman Fortnite. Now, in case you like your Batman with the hottest game franchise out there, it is here. I don't have a whole lot of copies still. Obviously, at some point, supply will catch up. We're waiting on second printings and thirds of a lot of these. They're supposed to be here this week. They are not, but they're coming, so hopefully next week. Also, we get in Batman The Adventure Continues Season 1, for those of you who like to read your Batman more book style. The collection of that, for those of you that trade weighted, it's here, and there you go. Moving on, more to life, obviously, than just Batman titles. We get the new issue of Justice League. For those of you who like to watch Batman boss everybody else in the DC universe around, this is the book where you get to see just that. He can tell Superman, Wonder Woman, everybody else what to do, just as it should be. Also, just to show that there is more to life than that, we get the new issue of Man-Bat, for those of you who like your characters inspired by Batman. Obviously, quite an inspiration here, not just the dyslexic version of Batman. Great character, actually. I remember reading him back in the 70s. New miniseries, been going for a little while, and it's in this week. Now, for those of you who like your characters to be obsessed with people who are obsessed with Batman, we get Harlequin. Black, white, and red, the trade on that one. Everything you would want except possibly the colors blue and yellow. Either way, it's in this week. Okay, well, that's enough for DC. If you want to move on to other comic book companies, crosstown rivals at Marvel, newest issue of Heroes Reborn, I kind of push this every time an issue comes out. Not selling terribly well, so obviously you haven't been listening to me, but they have your answer here because you forget this is Marvel's version of the Justice League, which means we get Marvel's version of Batman. So in case you thought you could resist the particular book, they got Batman. So there you go. Also now, much needed, the epic collection of the early Moon Knight series. This is probably the character in all of comicdom most that wants to be Batman. is definitely Moon Knight. So it's here. These were good stories. I read these back in the early 80s. Good stuff. Moon Knight has become a much hotter and more popular character later, and we've not had these in quite some time. They've been out of print, out of availability, so buy them while you can. These epic collections are a tremendous value for those of you wanting to catch up. Okay, moving on from characters that have anything to do with Batman, believe it or not. New issue of Spider-Man is out this week, and it starts an all-new big storyline with Chameleon Conspiracy. So for those of you who are Spider-Man fans that for whatever reason have been waiting for a good jumping-on point, well, Marvel's got you covered. One more from Marvel, because this is actually a series that everybody has really been anticipating. War of the Bounty Hunters, the big epic Star Wars crossover. So for all of the lead-ins to this have absolutely been as hot as they can be. They've sold out really quickly. Series begins in earnest here, so if you've been waiting for whatever reason, don't wait any longer. I did order extra of these. Who knows if I'll have enough, but either way, it's in this week. Now, you may be saying, but Dave, is there life after Batman? Is there possibly anything else out there other than Marvel and DC? Yes, there absolutely is, and we try to push those things here at Ground Zero. A couple companies I want to talk about. First off is Aftershock. Now, Aftershock is a fairly new company that's really been making waves with some really nice series that have been garnering new readers just about every week. Newest one is Out of Body. Now, this is by Peter Milligan. I only had a chance to skim this last night, but it looks pretty cool. Milligan always comes up with really wild concepts. This one's a guy who wakes up in the hospital at death's door. He's helped by a mystic to form an astral out-of-body projection to go find his killer before it is too late. Cool, bound to be a movie at some point. Either way, it's here. It looks good. Milligan always delivers interesting stuff. So if you're looking for something really different with no Batman whatsoever, Out of Body from Aftershock. Another company that has really done well. They've been around longer than Aftershock. That is Boom. I did read this one last night, cover to cover. It's pretty good. It's by Cullen Bunn, called Basilisk. It is, for you Walking Deads or Harrow County fans out there, or even Lock and Key, it's a dark supernatural title that actually looks to be really cool. Of course, in the first issue, we largely just get set up, but it's a cool setup. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to see just exactly where he takes this one. It's called Basilisk, and it's new this week. Let's see, one more company that I want to talk about, well, maybe two, and that is Bad Idea. Bad Idea has been super hot. Newest issue of their second series that they've done, Tankers, is in this week. It's a little late, and ENIAC was supposed to be in, and it's especially late, so we don't have those, but this is great stuff with really cool art. So if you haven't looked at Bad Idea yet, and hot as this series is, hot as this company is, most everybody have given it a chance, but if you haven't, this is actually a good book to take a look at, because it's new, it's in this week, and honestly, branch out from the Marvel and DC box. Just a couple more. One is Noctera that I swore I would not mention because at this point now I'm starting to sell out of Noctera pretty regularly. But for those of you who are anxious to come in and get the newest issue, it is here this week. One more because Visitor. Yeah, I know, just like me. Wow, I totally forgot this series had started and was coming out. Well, surprise, it's here. And it's on the stands for those of you who remember it. You'll have to go back and reread your old issues. I know I'm going to have to. One more thing. Now, of course, I already talked about a couple of trades in with all the regular stuff, but I will mention Manga, because Manga has absolutely been a growing category here at Ground Zero. More and more people have discovered the joys of manga with all the hot properties. Well, this week, it's kind of manga's greatest hits, because we get the newest volume of Demon Slayer, certainly the hottest property in manga anime right now. We also get the other hottest property, My Hero Academia. The newest volume of that is in this week. Just a couple more. Dragon Ball Super, for those of you nostalgic for what used to be the hottest property and is actually resurgent because it's been 20 years. Everything runs on 20-year cycles. And Jujutsu Kaisen is also in. That is also the new super hot property. And we got a few more manga titles in. We're starting to get more and more manga for those of you who want that kind of thing. Wow, if I hurry, I can get this under 10 minutes. Folks, that's the highlights, but there is, of course, so much more. Batman, lots more Batman, and a few things that aren't Batman. So, as always, I'll leave you with our usual thought, and that is, it's not about having what you want. It's about having more Batman than you can possibly afford. Folks, stay safe, take care of yourself. We love you, and we'll see you soon.